Hey there, geeks! We are back with another Wizards Wednesday Rewind. That's right, we hit the shops yesterday. We're here today to tell you our thoughts on these new release comics. Mike, tell them a little bit. We ran into a little bit of an issue when we went to the shops at, about the same time, and we're like, wait, they don't have the same books at your shop that they have at my shop. The ordering was crazy. Tell them all about it.
Well, first there were everyone voted this time. This isn't our picks,
Yeah,
right? This is picked by the listeners. So they picked based on all the results from what Threads, Twitter,
in Facebook.
Instagram,
Yep.
and Facebook. The winners were Wolverine Revenge won and Predator versus Black Panther won. Now, Adam, you were unable to get Predator versus Black Panther, but I was able to grab it. So my shop had probably like 20 copies of this.
See, they
So
stole them from my shop because they're like, they shorted us. They sent us none. I was like, what?
so my shop had one, the manager said one guy wanted one of like the incentive variants.
Um,
So like that's why they had so many. However, we're also going to be talking about Wolverine Revenge. My shop had no more red band copies.
oh, okay.
So oh, you also didn't get is that the red band or no?
Well, yeah, it says parental advisory on the bottom, but it didn't come in a plastic bag like all the others have been. So,
Then you didn't get the red band either.
okay. So there's
And
even
I want
more extreme.
yes, I do wonder if we're missing something with this. So,
Yeah, well,
all right.
let's get into the Wolverine to start then, just because
Okay.
we both have that, we both have something to discuss here. So my
Mhm.
first question though is when you saw that as the vote, that's what everybody wanted to hear. And let's put it this way, you guys love Wolverine out there because every time we put up a Wolverine book, you tell us to buy it. Were you anticipating this? Had you heard anything about it?
Yeah, I was really excited for this because it's Capullo on Wolverine. Like I'm a huge Capullo fan. I'm excited to see, what he's gonna do. And he doesn't let down. I also, I'm somewhat interested in what Hickman does. I'm always surprised. Like Ultimate Spider-Man surprised me. I liked House of X. Yeah, so I was happy that they voted for this because I was going to buy this regardless.
Oh, okay. See, I was a little trepidatious because also on the list was Ultimate Spider-Man #8, which my store also didn't have, but also by Jonathan Hickman. And those who've been watching the series, I dropped Ultimate Spider-Man because I was not happy with what Hickman was doing. He's not my guy. So I was like, oh, he's writing this book. And then I was like, great Capullo, though. Mike is always telling me how great he is, and everybody loves his art. It's so dynamic. Um, so we should say this book opens with Wolverine in the Savage Land after Magneto has sent an EMP pulse throughout the globe. This is its own reality, right? This is not what's going on in the main continuity, right?
Okay, no. This was confusing to me. I
Yeah,
This is a terrible way to start a series
yeah,
in my opinion. Absolutely horrendous. I don't know. I this felt familiar. I was like, "Wait, isn't that something that happened in the 90s?"
right.
And then I looked it up. This is actually, I again could be wrong. I could have misread something online, but I'm pretty sure this is set back in the 90s storyline after Fatal Attractions,
Oh,
which is weird. First of all, they don't tell you, like, there's no editor's notes.
yeah.
Like, go back and read Fatal Attractions, buy the graphic novel. Missed
Yeah, the only
opportunity there.
timeline is it says like 10 days ago, and it'll
Yeah,
talk like what happened in the last, couple weeks to change the world, but it doesn't tell you timeline actually.
this was me looking at some comments. Someone had mentioned in a comment saying this goes back. So already, what a terrible way to start a book. Like I don't know what's happening, where I am. I don't know why there's no power. Like nothing made sense to start. It's very confusing, and then he's in the Savage Land, fighting some dinosaurs. There's blood for it being the not the the safe version. What's the non-red band version?
Yeah, but it
You
still
know,
says parental advisory on it. Yeah, so I
yeah.
mean
Well,
he's cutting stuff up. There's blood.
it's
I mean, there is a very cool shot where he's running across the belly of the dinosaur, of the T-Rex that he's fighting and just cutting it open with his claws, and then he gets chomped, so there's plenty of blood flying everywhere.
But then the dinosaur gets zapped in the head by Nick Fury, and then taken to a helicarrier where he's told they have a mission to get something that will save the Earth because every what is it? All the power has been
Yeah.
like
So the
destroyed.
EMP pulse just knocked out everything. And Mike, I had to get your take on this because they talk about like America needs your help, and then Wolverine's like, well, that's too bad because I'm Canadian. They're like, well, sorry to tell you that Canada doesn't exist anymore because the
Anymore.
thing that exploded over like Quebec or something. And I was just
Well,
like,
this is the other thing that's confusing. Even if this takes place after Fatal Attractions, they say like it's like millions of people on Earth are dead. This is like an Elseworld story. It has to be. I
yeah.
don't under
But
nothing
they don't
makes sense
present
here.
it that way. They don't tell you that at the start. So you're just like, wait, this is its own little universe? Like what's happening here?
Yeah. And then we flash ahead, they're on their mission, and then the bad guys show up. It's Omega Red, Sabretooth, and Deadpool, and they hate Wolverine and they want to stop him. I don't know. I was so confused at him. I just kind of, by the end, I was like, I don't know what's happening. Wolverine has a bomb in his chest. He tries to cut it out.
Yeah, it's basically Mastermind is leading the Masters of Evil to say in this new world, now that everything is falling apart, we're going to have the power. We have this thing that can turn the power back on or whatever. That's what Shield or what's left of Shield is trying to get Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Wolverine to go save the day. So like, but everybody gets killed. Like that's the big thing.
Yeah.
It's like the Masters of Evil, Sabretooth specifically, is sneaking up on everybody and killing them as they're trying to get to the base. And Omega Red like captures Cap and Bucky. And then yeah, like you said, they put bombs in their chests. I did think it was clever when they said like because Wolverine's just like it's not going to do anything to me or whatever. Like yeah, but we put the bomb beneath your rib cage so your body wouldn't just force it out as it was healing. And then also we had to use Omega Red's diseases to temporarily like cancel out your healing factor long enough for us to do the surgery on you. So I like that they put all that together. But the thing I just want to say about this book is the team that they have together. I know Deadpool was originally like a bad guy, and whether or not you think he's still kind of a bad guy, even though he's lovable, but he doesn't fit on this team in this day and age now to have like the super serious Omega Red, you have Sabretooth, and like evil Colossus is also part of their team with his facial hair, which never makes sense. How does he have facial hair? He's got his middle.
It's got to be confusing for readers that are just coming in the past
Yeah.
few years, being like, what's happening with Deadpool?
But the cliffhanger, like, because you're like, why is it revenge? He fights a dinosaur at the beginning. That's on the cover. That has nothing to do with this story. And then by the end, I think we should just spoil it. We'll just
Yeah, just
spoil it.
spoil it. Just jump ahead if you don't want to be spoiled.
Everybody has bombs in their chests. So they say, "Oh, Captain America and Bucky, you can leave and tell the world that that you can figure out how to save it, but there's really no time. We're gonna win." And then when they let them go, they blow them up anyway. And so they blow up Wolverine, and so he's dead too. And then at the end, you see his body reforming itself. So you can say he's gonna get his revenge. Not interested.
It's not for me. I love
Yeah.
the Capullo art. I just wish the story was. I don't know. Maybe I want more in continuity. It's a weird choice.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
like you said, if they had just set it up that this is going to be its own little universe
Yeah,
story taking place at this time in between or whatever, like this is an alternate timeline, just you got to give us, they need an imprint that tells us it's that, like
yeah.
I don't know. So anyway, but yeah, so not a big one for me. I will say also the Capullo art didn't do it for me. I've heard
Okay.
so many great things about his Batman and all his other stuff, but it's very like wispy. Everything it doesn't feel like crisp in any way. It's just kind of like, and it could be the coloring too, because everything's very like kind of faded. It's not like real deep visceral colors, and so I was just
I
like,
I also think it's the inking. I don't know. I
yeah.
find that like the detail's not there. Like there's
Mhm.
not a ton of that Capullo detail you see in his pencils in
Yeah.
that image. It's
Yeah,
just
'cause
I
I
don't
think of the
know.
Spawn
Yeah.
era, and this is definitely, but he had Todd McFarlane inking him, I guess, so that makes it,
Sometimes, yeah, or other inkers like McFarlane.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. Who, no matter, it doesn't matter. This is going to sell like hotcakes. I've seen some shops have just an entire wall of these books. So
If that's what
people,
you like, that's what you like. Just not
yeah,
for us.
some
But
people are
Mike,
going to love this. Yeah, and
tell us
I
about
want.
this next right here that you were able to get. I want to know if you did like it or not.
I
Uh-oh.
don't. What I why did they vote for this? Why did you all vote for this? I don't really enjoy cross cross what do you call this? Like it's
The
crossing
properties crossing over with each other.
properties crossing. I just don't want it. Don't cross, aliens with things or Superman with. I don't even like Superman crossing with Spider-Man. I'm not into it. Stay
Wow.
in your lane. Yeah, I'm a bit like I'm pretty. Anyways, I bought this for the people that voted. I did it. I did it. It's interesting. They really. I have to say, this issue is all set up.
Okay.
This is all set up for what the series will be. There is no versus at this point.
Is it more on the Predator side? Is it more on the Wakanda side, or is it even?
That's what I liked about it is I was like, well, what are they gonna do for Predator? Like the Predator is such a boring character. I like the first movie. I don't need any more Predator. To me, it's a one-off movie, and the design is so cool that they just keep pumping them out. Um, it's a lot of internal dialogue or internal, like we're learning about who these predators are. They're just the writer describes what the story of the predator. So it's basically about this predator who's kind of the runt of the litter. He was born without a leg. He has like a cybernetic leg. He's kind of, and he wants to prove himself, and so he has this spear, and it's made of vibranium,
Oh,
and so he wants to go to Earth to get more vibranium, um, to kind of prove himself. So that's his goal. I don't really know what Black Panther's doing. They've kind of just set up, who Black Panther is. He's hanging out with Shuri, and it's set up, Adam. It's like, here, get to know Black Panther. And then the Predator ends up on Earth. That's about it. It's like you can tell the battle's about to begin. This is a book for hardcore Predator fans, hardcore Black Panther fans. It's not really I don't know, if you're wanting some crazy, cool, mysterious story about Predators and Black Panthers and vibranium, you're not going to get it in here. Go to this just because if you like Predator and you want to eventually see a battle.
you're just a completist. Yeah, you got to
You're a
get all the Predator.
completist. You got to get, or Black Panther. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool cover.
I want to know what that variant was that the guy in your shop was. They made them order 20 to get. What was that?
or whatever it was, 1 in 25. Yeah. It's okay. I don't know. This is not for me. Both of these books really don't feel like they're for me.
Hmm. Okay,
So,
well, there was a book that I thought would be for me because we put it on the poll as well. It was just I'm kind of looking like give me something fresh, something new, and I saw this book and it's called Jenny Sparks. Okay, and I see this British flag and I see some attitude
so
and
this
I
is, but this is by a huge, it's by Tom King, Adam.
yeah by Tom King, who I hear about all the time, haven't read his stuff, don't know about.
Okay.
So I
Tell
was
us.
like, cool. Yeah, we're getting this guy, Tom King, that I've heard some things about. Now, Jenny Sparks, a lot of people know this name. Guess what? I did not know this name. I thought this was a new character. And
Okay.
so I was just like, cool, I'm going to be on the ground floor. And I start reading, and I'm like, okay, it's telling me this is a character that's lived for a lot of years. Oh, the Justice League knows her. The Justice League is afraid of her. They defer to her when there's crazy stuff going on. And I was just like, wait a minute. So, for those who don't know, like me, which I think all of you probably do, Jenny Sparks is from The Authority that Warren
Right.
Ellis wrote in the 90s. She's like, she started in Stormwatch as he was transitioning that to the Authority. And I've read an Authority book, and apparently she made no impact on me at all. The name, nothing stood out. So I was like, oh, because when I looked at it, I was like, oh, British anarchist feels like Warren Ellis. Like that's what I was saying as I was reading it. Then as I got further and further into it, because eventually they have a line, you don't have the authority. Like it's one line that goes in there. It's kind of cheesy. But here's the thing. So the story The premise is kind of cool, just that so Batman shows up in her room after she's had a one night stand, and it's really weird to see Batman in the morning light. And he's like basically like, you gotta go take care of this. Everybody else is unavailable. She's like, okay, okay. And so Captain Atom, not Captain Adam, that's
Yeah.
me. No, Captain Atom, he has gone crazy. He wants to be considered God, and he has all these like transmutable abilities with his atomic powers. And he's walking just around a city. I don't even know which city it is. I didn't pay attention. But like sometimes he's naked, kind of like Dr. Manhattan style. Sometimes he turns into his silver superhero form. And like last thing I knew about Captain Atom, he was leading extreme justice in the 90s and tried to be as Image Comics as possible. So to see him here as kind of this guy who's just like, yes, and he kind of just talking to himself unless somebody else is around, like an old man in a park, and he's going to talk to him. Then he kills that old man for some reason. And so, like, Jenny Sparks goes to investigate. She grabs the energy signature off the dead body, the radiation, so she can follow Captain Atom and find him. But so this is the thing. I didn't know her power set. I don't know why the Justice League knows it. So I was like, oh, I've missed a lot. And apparently I missed a lot. But she's got like electricity powers, and she represents the century. So apparently she was supposed to have died in the year 2000, I guess, in the storylines. But now she's saying, like, I'm back because I wasn't done with all of you, even though she's not supposed to exist past that point, I guess.
So Adam, I'm confused. What is the story about?
Yeah,
What's the premise? What's the one-liner?
this is as confused as I was reading it, because just like that's happening. Meanwhile, Tom King is doing this thing where page after page he splits it into like between five different characters, where there's like a professor, of cinema. There is a Hollywood agent. There's a psychiatrist. There's a judge, a female judge who's cheating on her husband. Like all this weird stuff. A bartender. Like it just it keeps like day in the life of their life, and I'm just like, is this going to add up to something? Because I'm really bored with these people. I don't want to hear about this. By the end of the issue, all that happens is all of those people, Tom King thinks he's being clever, they all end up at the same bar, separate lives, but fate has brought them together in a bar where Captain Atom walks in and takes them all hostage. And the end is a standoff where he passes a cocktail napkin under the door to the police. Here are his demands, and it's like he wants to be considered a god. He wants a ham sandwich. He wants like it's just like what? And then Jenny Sparks, like, she confronts Captain Atom at one point. He kills her, but apparently she's immortal. So then she just comes back to life a little bit later. So she shows up at the end, and apparently the next issue will be her confronting Captain Atom and figuring out this hostage situation. But they took up so much time with these people and their lives. If they just all get killed or they are not even side characters in the book going forward, I would be very upset. So cool premise, sort of, with omnipotent hero going crazy, but I don't know. It was a lot of filler, is what I felt about it, and that it is a very 90s sensibility of this, like, because all she does is she curses a lot. It's all squiggled out by different symbols, like so you don't see it, but like she's just cussing a blue streak the whole time, like about everything she says, and she's just tough as nails and doesn't care about anybody. So kind of a cool character, but not really. Feels out of time, I guess is what I would say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, knowing Tom King, I think his stuff reads really well as in trade paperback form, hardcover form, whatever. So maybe, yeah, maybe Adam, I'm guessing you're not going to continue with the
I
series.
don't know. I might pick up
Well,
issue 2.
interesting.
I'm
Okay.
intrigued enough to see how this hostage crisis, and again, just this whole thing. He's gone crazy. Why did he go crazy? What are they going to do about it? Little curious about that. So better
Cool.
than the Wolverine book, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right.
So there we
Well,
are. There's the
really
one
quick,
one.
really
But
quick.
yeah, you
The
got
book,
something else.
I
Yeah.
got some other stuff. So this is a new book from one of the cover artists of Armored, my book. Scott Collins does all the interior artwork and cover artwork, and it's by James Robinson. He wrote it. And I'm still on the Redcoat train. It is still my favorite comic series currently. Adam, you need to be picking it up.
I read a little bit, and I can see what you probably like about it. I'm curious to see if I'll dig in a little bit farther. But what did I say? I don't like historical stuff, really. I
Ah,
kind of told you
yes.
that we were talking earlier about some comics that had to do with like, history, but being brought into this world. And I'm just like,
Right.
it's a little too much for me. Even Jenny Sparks apparently like was a character who interweaved with famous icons of history and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. Give me something new. Give me something interesting. Yeah. So, but
Anyways,
Patra, that
that's it.
looks pretty fantastic. So it's freaky.
Serial killer. Yeah.
Yeah. But there we go. Thank you for checking out this episode. We'll put up a new poll. We'll see where you take us. It's good to be exposed to new things. Look,
Yes.
not for us, that's fine, but at least we know what's kind of going on out there, what's being presented. So I'm excited about that. But stay subscribed here. If you want more of the old school stuff, you can go on over to wizardscomics.com, get over nearly 290 episodes, actually, but over 280 at this point, where we're covering every issue of Wizard Magazine, the spin-offs. We'll do specials. We'll cover their bonus magazines they're releasing. So all that is there. We also have a YouTube channel, as you know, here, but we have other videos that we give to our patrons at patreon.com/wizards comics, just $5 a month. And you get a lot of exclusives over there. So you can go check it out for yourself. But again, thank you so much. And until next time, keep your books bagged and boarded.